Today we are going to review the Internet of Things in the pharmaceutical supply chain. This presentation is for IS 8005, Summer 2021 at Kennesaw State University. The course is led by Dr. Amy Wazinski. The Internet of Things, often referenced as IoT, bridges complex pharmaceutical logistics from the point of manufacture through distribution, pharmacy inventory, to the time the medication reaches a patient. Pharmaceutical solutions and services are more interconnected than ever before, and this brings efficiencies to the distribution network. Let's explore how the Internet of Things operates and creates more solutions in the pharmaceutical industry with a supply chain perspective, and review why observing trends in the relevant data, specifically big data, is imperative to continued success. So we have the entire pharmaceutical industry. Why is the Internet of Things especially important to pharmaceutical distribution? Well, there are three main reasons. The first is related to the entire industry. Pharmaceutical distributors account for 91% of business revenue in the entire pharmaceutical industry, with the three leading distributors totaling close to $400 billion in sales revenue per year. The next reason enhancing the supply chain is important is patient safety. An estimated 1 million deaths per year are attributed to counterfeit medications, a challenge that can be solved using IoT solutions such as industry-wide adoption of blockchain applications. A third reason we'll cover today is relative to individual pharmaceutical wholesalers. IoT further enhances the typical distribution company's business model and allows companies to maximize their data usage in areas even outside of distribution, such as pharmaceutical product tracking, pharmacy inventory management, or even payment reconciliation services to create new solutions and product differentiators in order to entice new customers and retain current partnerships, thus maximizing market share. It's easy to see why an individual company would be interested in utilizing IoT to enhance their business model. So by exploring the impact of IoT from the time of manufacture all the way to patient medication fulfillment, we can observe how these newly formed data connections have increased efficiencies, including saving lives, at many points in the supply chain in order to plan for and support future applications. Next, understanding the framework needed to overcome the challenges associated with developing IoT further is imperative, so software engineers can understand what data is needed to build the supporting software. In speaking to the Internet of Things in the pharmaceutical industry and how the supply chain has been enhanced, big data will be a key reference term. Big data defines a prominent volume of information that is collected and/or used by businesses on a routine basis. Many times in the Internet of Things, big data is collected in one area of the business. For example, in pharmaceutical distribution, this may be from a pharmacy's purchasing information, such as what items have been purchased, what quantities have been purchased, and how many items are actually received at the pharmacy, and then used within another area or solution. Continuing this example, the purchase data may be used against another set of data, noting patients' prescriptions to be used in aiding pharmacies in determining their estimated remaining inventory. The solution could then offer a suggested order, so the pharmacy can proactively make replenishments with their pharmaceutical wholesaler, ultimately preventing low stock for critical items. Data can be collected from any amount of sources and also collected by a number of means from a number of devices. This is why IoT has been instrumental to creating a platform where solutions requiring big data are possible. Big data can also be collected without a specific intent in order to be used with countless technologies at a later time to increase positive outcomes for patients. This is the foundation of the Internet of Things, or IoT, in healthcare in the pharmaceutical supply chain. The Internet of Things creates opportunities for expanding the pharma industry's portfolio of technological solutions faster than ever before. Big data and innovative solutions are achieved with sensor-supported products, from devices physically on patients, called wearables, to software applications, all the way to energy-efficient supply chain monitoring systems. Many think IoT is this one-layer system being simply connecting devices or wearables, but actually is comprised of 4 layers, with the layers being hardware, communications, data analytics, and service. Hardware is a physical object, the tangible objects. Think a smart barcode device scanner. The communications layer is what allows the hardware to be a part of the interconnected web of devices in healthcare. This may be something as simple as a chip that enables Wi-Fi. The data analytics layer is where data is derived from the physical software and is compiled and transformed into useful information, moving the individual data point to being a drop in the big data bucket. The final service layer is where everything comes together and the data analytics are used to make other decisions. The service layer is extremely important in researching IoT in the pharmaceutical supply chain because very rarely is the hardware layer taking place in the supply chain. The basic data is usually compiled within a healthcare touchpoint that becomes part of big data. Efficiencies are predominantly created in the service layer, and you must understand this process in order to research how effective current and emerging IoT solutions are. Almost half of healthcare providers polled said they have integrated consumer technologies like automated pharmacy dispensing systems with their IT ecosystems. Data must feed into other data sources to use IoT in the pharmaceutical industry. For example, goal programming is used to increase efficiency by analyzing data to develop production and shipping patterns, but the data would not be available without external inputs. Track and trace programs, another example of IoT in the supply chain, uses data inputs from multiple sources throughout the distribution process to strategically adhere to the Drug Quality and Security Act of 2013. Programs like this not only increase the safety of patients, but also increase supply chain efficiency in the process as wholesalers are able to account for products at each stage of the distribution process. As you can see, these areas of healthcare do not stand alone. Data from each area supports another, where the information is analyzed in different combinations to provide integrated solutions for all of healthcare to use. The Internet of Things is transforming the supply chain from manufacturing to patient administration as there is more data insight throughout the process than ever before. And without the process of transforming small pieces of information from the pharmaceutical supply chain into big data, major technological advances and interconnecting solutions in the healthcare industry would not be possible. It is, however, imperative to highlight the pharmaceutical industry must continue growing its understanding of how each data point can be used to interconnect solutions so engineers can begin to build platforms to support additional solutions. As the possibilities of increasing efficiencies are endless in an IoT world, software does take time to develop and must be planned for. New solutions take a minimum of about half a year and sometimes as much as half a decade for engineers to build. Key issues must be tackled for the IoT to have adoption in the right areas when technologies become available. The goal of our review today is to shed light on how the pharmaceutical supply chain provides data to the healthcare industry. Hopefully you're informed of the bright future of the Internet of Things so we can all build knowledge on the topic, continue using big data, and support the future growth of information systems in the healthcare industry and ultimately increase patient outcomes.